There's only one data corrupter in the world. I guess that's kind of essential. When it needs to be on the pedalboard, it needs to be that pedal. I'm Jonathan Pearce from the Beths, and this is my board to death. So this is my touring guitar. I have a 78 Les Paul Deluxe at home, and I really love it. It's just a bit too special for me now to take it around the world. So here I'm playing a new one, but it's got the mini humbuckers, which I feel is kind of my sound. I love that sound. I use the middle position quite a lot, and then always bridge position for the guitar solos. This is my touring board. It's everything I need to play most Beth songs. It's always hard to put pedals on the board when you just make a new record or something like that. And this is where I arrived at for this tour, and I guess some things do more heavy lifting than others. The pedalboard is made of corflute, which I'm very proud of. It's the stuff that real estate agent signs are made out of. They last forever, and they weigh 0 kilograms or pounds. I go straight into the EarthQuaker Hoof Reaper at the moment. I kind of mix up that first spot between the data corrupter and the Hoof Reaper depending on what's in the set list. And we haven't been playing acrid lately, which is what I use the data corrupter for when we play live. It gets a lot of use in the studio. So I've got the Hoof Reaper on there, and it has to go first because the tentacle octave effect that's in the middle, if you put it at the end, it just freaks out and gets really bright, which could be fun, but when we play live, I try to keep it more contained. So if I'm playing, I'll have that to give the octave kind of octave up extra juice. I've been playing around with the Reaper side. It's pretty freaky. I haven't written any markings on it because I've not settled on any settings yet, but we'll see. EP booster. This I use to just like kick further down the line gain stages up a notch, which I do a lot, and you'll see that on Liz's pedalboard too. We just have lots of distortion pedals, and we've got to go from next to nothing to a little bit more to more than that to full-on Marshall distortion to Marshall with the boost, and then the Proco Rat is always the solo pedal. And you can kind of combine the booster pedal with any of those stages to just make it a little bit more over the top.
Can we erase our history? Is it as easy as this? Plausible deniability, I swear I've never heard of it. And I can close the door on us, but the room still exists.
First gain pedal is the Wampler at the moment. I had a King of Tone clone for a little while, and it stopped working. So in a hurry, I needed to grab this pedal, and I'm still getting used to it, but I quite like it. It's got this presence knob that's quite good. When the sound guy says it's just a bit bright tonight, you can just turn that down. I play around with the low gain stage pedals quite a lot. For a while, it was Tube Screamer, like a Mad Professor Tube Screamer, Little Green Wonder, and then Crowd the Hotcake for quite a while, the New Zealand-made sort of slightly transparent kind of thick overdrive sound. I had like a modded DS1 that was on the board for a little while, which I look back on with some regret. And I've just ended up with this 2-stage thing that's like a King of Tone style thing. Seems to be working really well, sounds really studio. This one's always on. That's about as clean as I need to go in the Beths. My cleanest part would be something like I try to play that clean as little as possible on the gig. Second stage, more distortion. And then solo boost, always a Proco Rat. I can play any Beth's gig with just a Proco Rat. I'm attracted to distortion pedals that you can still hear quite a lot of zingy top end, but not like full spitting fuzz top end. But yeah, I like that because I guess that's partly why I have the mini humbuckers, is to retain the brightness while still having the humbucker kind of mid-range power. And I want that to go all through the signal chain right to the end. So then after the Proco Rat, I'm going to the warp vinyl vibrato, which I'm using as a chorus. And I like this pedal a lot, and I used it on the solo for Jump Rope Gazers on our last album, and a bunch of stuff like as a vibrato pedal, and it's awesome. It's good. It's a good chorus too, but I've been spoilt by my electro-harmonic stereo polychorus back home. That pedal is like half of the size of this pedal board, and I can't bring it. But the warp vinyl is stepping in as the chorus, and it's pretty good. I like it a lot. The warp vinyl goes into the Eventide H9, which does all the delay effects, and also is my tuner, which I have to perform a maneuver to get it into tuner mode. And I put up with that because it's just a great tuner, and that's a really good thing when you find a good tuner. I've kind of made patches for different songs, and then I've got some patches at the end that are work in progress that haven't got titles yet. It's cool. I like that pedal. Well, one thing that I'm not really attracted to is reverbs. I've never really just gelled with reverbs. I don't know quite why, but something about it coming out of the amp in mono and not feeling very realistic or something. And I've tended to always solve reverb type problems with echoes. So some kind of echo where I can do a couple of different echo times, sync to the tempo, can just pad something out, wash it out in a way that reverb normally would for maybe some other players, and I just use echo instead. I've been using the Eventide echoes. I think the time factor was like the first big fancy pedal that I bought. And when you get your kind of first really impressive pedal, you learn every little detail about it, and you try to make it do everything. And so the Eventide echoes is just a thing I know really well. So from the H9 echo, we go to this MXR Phase 90, the old script one. I think it's got kind of like a rounded, I don't know when it's from, but the box looks kind of old. I'm going to call it an old one, but I think it's just really extreme in slow setting. And it's just the sound of like something happening. Something's about to happen. Yeah, pedals and songwriting is sometimes they just completely influence a part, and other times you know what is needed and you just need to find the right pedal for it. I feel like distortion pedals is always that. It's like, I need to be bigger, I'm going to find the right distortion. It's not, I rarely find a distortion pedal that really makes the part. Other things, like phaser or the tentacle part of the Hoof Reaper, can be very inspiring, and I think the solo for Not Getting Excited was definitely inspired by the tentacle sound when I first got one in 2019 or so, and yeah, just found the right part of the neck to play on, which set the octave effect going really nicely, and yeah, that was directly influenced by the pedal.